Hi there, I'm Matthew. I'm the pastor at Grace Lutheran Church in Boulder, Colorado, and every so often I post a video where I think about and reflect some on a psalm. It's been psalms so far, maybe some other scripture someday. And I make an amateur attempt to play music that hopefully connects with the scripture in some way or the theme for the week or whatever. I'm posting this video just before Christmas 2020. On the heels of a time when a whole lot of congregations host a Blue Christmas service, and this will be sort of in that vein. The psalm for today that I chose is Psalm 13. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I bear pain in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all day long? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep the sleep of death, and my enemies shall say, I have prevailed. My foes will rejoice because I am shaken. But I trust your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, because God has dealt bountifully with me. It's Christmas time. Well, it's Advent, but it's Christmas time in our culture, the time of year when we put up lights and we put up trees and put lights on the trees and fancy decorations on the trees and decorate our houses. Time of year when we give presents to each other. When we play happy music in major keys, time of year when we go to parties, at least when we're not pandemicking. It's the time of year when we're expected to, what's the phrase? Be of good cheer, whatever that means. And it's the time of year when we're supposed to do all kinds of stuff like that. It's the time of year when we're supposed to be happy and filled with joy. But sometimes, truth be told, especially this time of year, some people feel not cheerful. It can be a tough time of year for a whole bunch of different people, especially if there's something significantly and notably different this year than last year or a few years ago or sometime fairly recently. Or maybe even a long time ago. I mean, it could be any different thing. From something as huge and significant as maybe your spouse or someone else beloved to you died in the past year or two. Or maybe you're not able to be with someone you love this year, this time of the year. Maybe for some reason or other you can't get home. Maybe you can't get away from home. Maybe it's just been a rough year all around. And especially this year, 2020, because there's been a pandemic on for months and months and months, and everything's just a little sideways. It seems like one of those years when there might be a whole lot of us who are a little sideways, a little sad, a little off in this holiday season. I read recently, related or not to Christmas, I'm not sure, but I read recently that Christianity is too happy. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's not that there's anything wrong with being happy, but sometimes among some Christians, happiness seems forced in some kind of way. It's it's as if when we show up in a group of Christian people, we feel obligated to be cheerful because that's what's expected. And in some collections of Christians, congregations, there seems to be no room for sadness or lament, which in my opinion is problematic because, well, for a whole lot of reasons, because we are human, and being human, part of being human is sadness and lament. But beyond that, it's problematic because Jesus, God incarnate, entered into this world. It's the thing that we celebrate later on this week as I'm recording this. Jesus, God incarnate, entered into this world, at least in part, to be able to know the fullness of our human experience. And part of the fullness of our human experience is sadness and lament and sorrow. So for those of us, who aren't always as happy as the season seems to think we ought to be, you're in good company. Because you're in God's company. When Christ enters into this world, completely into our experience, and meets us exactly where we are. Joyful or sorrowful, happy or sad. God enters into our experience, meeting us exactly as we are, and allowing us the space to sing even though we might not always feel like it, which is a truth that was reflected in the psalm that I read earlier. It's a truth that's reflected in one of the verses of a beloved Christmas carol. It's the third verse in our ELCA Lutheran hymn book. And you, beneath life's crushing load, whose forms are bending low, who toil along the climbing way with painful steps and slow, look now, for glad and golden hours come swiftly on the wing. O rest beside the weary road and hear the angels sing.